So I made this video for the guys who may be struggling right now. I made this video for the guys who may feel lost right now. I made this video for the guys who have tried everything, who feel like they've tried everything and nothing seems to be working. I'm here to tell you to keep trying. I'm here to tell you that if you stop right now, you know you will never achieve what you were meant to achieve. If you stop right now, life is hard. Life is hard. And especially you don't have nobody in your corner guiding you. You have no one in your corner, right? Encouraging you. You have no one. It's just you. You got to keep going. You got to keep going regardless of who's in your corner. You have to keep going regardless of who's encouraging you or not. You got to keep going regardless of who's shitting on you or not. Because we know if you keep going, you're bound to hit your goal. We know if you keep going, you're bound to accomplish what you set out to accomplish. Listen, the truth is, if you keep going, putting in that work, you keep going, you keep putting in that time, you keep studying, you keep going, eventually you're going to hit it. And you may not hit it 100%, but trust and believe that you're going to hit it maybe at a 60% rate, maybe at a 50% rate, maybe at a 40% rate. But you wouldn't know that unless you keep going. And no matter what anybody says, no matter what, people are hating on you about, if you keep going, you will win at the end of all of this. You will win. Year after year has been a struggle for me. I'm 28. These past 10 years have been some of the hardest years in my life. And if you're around the same age range as me, or maybe a bit older, maybe you can relate. Or if you're younger, you can see exactly what I'm talking about. These past 10 years have been some of the most hardest years for me. These past 10 years have truly tested me. These past 10 years have built me into the man that I am today. Right? I've become wiser. I've become smarter. I've become more knowledgeable. Right? My head is clearer. I can see the light at the end of the tunnel. I can see the finished product at the end of the tunnel. I can see it. I can feel it. I can taste it. Once upon a time, I couldn't see shit. Once upon a time, I was in the dark. Once upon a time, I was depressed. Once upon a time, I thought I would never figure this shit out. And not saying that I have it all the way figured out, because I'm still figuring it out, but I've made it 40% of the way. I've made it 45% of the way. Right? And all I had to do was keep going. All I had to do was keep fighting. That's all I had to do. Everything is not going to work out in your favor, gentlemen. In fact, most things you're going to fail. You're going to fall flat on your mother freaking face 80 to 90% of the time. And that 10% of the times that you actually accomplish what you set out to accomplish, that 10% of the time that you actually did what you intended to do, is going to be huge. That 10% is going to be huge. That 10% that you hit is going to be so big that you forget about the other 90% of times that you failed. Right? That 10% is going to take you all the way to the promised land. That 10% is going to get you all the way there. It's going to propel you to lifts you didn't even think was possible. You didn't think it was possible. But when you get there, you're going to look back and be like, what the fuck was I complaining about? What was I complaining about? That's where I was supposed to be. I was in the predicament God intended me to be in. You're not just going to walk into the money. Some of y'all think you're just going to walk into success. Some of y'all think you're just going to get the exact bitch that you want to off of no work. That's not how that works. You think you're just going to go into the gym and get the body that somebody else has that's been putting in the work for 10 years. It doesn't work like that, gentlemen. It doesn't work like that. You got to put in the work. You got to put in the work. And sometimes it takes you longer than somebody else. See, another thing that we struggle with is the comparison game, right? We look at social media. We look at YouTube. We look at this. We look at that, right? We see all of these different people. They're living how they, how you want to live. They living a life that you dream of. They surrounded by top tier women. They own boats. They flying first class. Right? They're eating at fine dining restaurants. They're eating steak. Right? They're eating Wagyu. High level sushi. And you just sitting back and looking at your life like, why, how am I living like this? Why am I living like this? And truth be told, I used to do the same thing. I used to look at these different people, right? When I first started my YouTube journey, I used to look at these different YouTubers like, I'm better than that. How he got 100,000 and I'm still sitting at where I am. I'm better than that. Not understanding that he been putting in work for the past 10 years. It don't matter that you think that you better. It don't matter that you think you have more to offer to the world. Did you put in the time? Did you put in the work? Did you put in the effort? Don't try to come after somebody else's trophy when they've been practicing their whole life. Don't try to come after somebody else's trophy when they've been putting in work, blood, sweat, and tears for the past 10 years. How dare you try to come after their trophy? How dare you think that you can somehow compare to this person? How dare you? Now there is your anomalies. You do have your anomalies who gain success overnight. Right? You do have your anomalies who win the lottery. Right? You do have your anomalies who just so happen to just blow up. Right? You do have your anomalies. But we're not basing our lives off of anomalies. That's not how men operate. Right? What are your chances of winning a lottery? Very, very slim. Very, very slim. To the point where it's almost pointless to play the lottery. Right? You have more of a chance of putting in that same work and effort into actually working towards or starting a business to achieve that $1 million that you're trying to scratch off, right? Do little scratch offs and play the lottery and all that little stuff. You have more of a chance of working towards that $1 million than you do of winning it. So what does that tell you about most people? What does that tell you about most men? Most men will rather gamble than to put in the work. But you wonder why you're not where you're supposed to be. You wonder why you're still stagnant. You wonder why you still smashing fat hoes. You wonder why. You wonder why you're not driving the car that you want. You wonder why chicks are not looking your way. Why are you wondering? You ain't put in the time. You ain't put in the effort. You ain't doing nothing but gambling. You're gambling, sir. You think the bad hoes gonna fall into your lap, huh? You think the big booty hoes gonna fall in your lap, huh? You think that nice car they just gonna gift you that nice car, huh? You think you're just gonna play the lottery and win that $1 million, huh? See, what's wrong with a lot of people is the mentality. They got the wrong mentality. A lot of men got the wrong mentality. Right? They don't want to work for nothing. See, we stay in a instant gratification environment. Everything that you can think of, you have access to, right? Everything. You can get groceries delivered to your doorsteps within 3 to 5 hours. You can have Uber Eats, whatever restaurant you desire, whatever food you desire, you can have it delivered to you in over the next 30 minutes, right? Any chick that you can dream of, you can have access to her, not in physical form, right? Not in physical. You can have every chick you can think of, what you want. A pog, big booty white girl, you can search that up on Instagram and XNXX, right? You want a slim blonde, blue eyes, you can also have access to that. See her get banged out. You want a beautiful black woman, curvy? Well, you can look that up as well. We have so many vices, so many things that we have access to at our fingertips. So much so that it has destroyed our mindset. So much so that it has destroyed our way of thinking. So much so that we think everything is supposed to be instant. Right? It's so crazy because I've been literally in the gym consistently these past 7 years. Right? 7 years, 8 years, give or take. Right? I've literally built the body that I want. I've literally put in the work, the time, and the effort, and the sweat to get the body that I have. I didn't always look the way that I looked. Once upon a time, I was the skinny, scrawny. I was the tall, skinny, scrawny kid. One day, I got to college, and I seen all the chicks that I wanted looking at the other guys who didn't look nothing like me. I seen the prototype of the guys that the girls that I wanted, I seen who they actually wanted. Right? I wasn't it. So instead of pointing the finger, instead of going into a depression, instead of beating myself over the head, guess what I did? I went and put in the work. I decided that no more will I be the guy that chicks don't want. No longer will I be the guy who have self-esteem issues, right? No longer will I be not just for the chicks, right? Not just for the attention, but no longer will I be this type of guy for me. I don't want to be this guy anymore. I want to see change. I want to see progress. I want to make a difference in my life. So I start picking up that iron. So I start lifting consistently. So much so that I've had some guys literally, and this is where we get into the whole jealousy and the envy conversation, right? I had guys who would literally ask me, "Are you on steroids?" What, sir? What? I had a guy literally ask me, "What kind of steroids are you on?" I wanted to slap fire from him because I felt disrespected. How dare you ask me some stupid shit like that? Steroids? I've never taken a goddamn what? The most you'll see me taking supplement wise is some creatine and some damn protein powder. And all of those amino acids and creatine can be found in natural foods. That's the most you'll see me taking. But somebody had the nerve. See, when you really putting in that work, see the jealousy come out the woodworks. When you really put in that work, solo dolo, the envy guys, the envy people, the envious people will come out the woodworks, right? They'll try to denounce your success. They'll try to make it seem like there's no way possible that he could have achieved this on his own. There's no way possible that he could have gotten this on his own, right? There's no way possible, right? There's no way possible his genetics just on the superior end of the spectrum. There's no way possible. So instead of people actually asking you the real questions, instead of people actually asking you what's your method, what's your routine, they try to denounce your success. They try to belittle your success, and that's what comes with it. That's what comes with it. Little do they know, I was the guy who was looking up to the other guys wanting to be them. Little do they know. But that's what happens when you have a majority of people in a society built on instant gratification. They think everybody is getting shit off of this, right? They think everybody just got the money overnight. They think everybody just got the body overnight. They think everybody just got the success over fucking night. They think everybody just got it overnight, and that's just not how it works. The mentality in America, the mentality in the Western world is so shitty. People don't know how to work for what they want anymore. People don't know how to get out here and use their mind to achieve the things that they want anymore. They don't know how to do it. Many people are out here handicapped, man. Most people are handicapped. And if you're a person that's doing something outside of the norm, outside of the box, and listen, even YouTube is doing YouTube. Me sitting right here with a camera in my hand, people looking like, what is he doing? People are looking like, he's filming himself? What? Even till this day, 2020 god dang on 5, people are still looking at other people like, what the hell when they're filming themselves. Do y'all not watch YouTube? Every single person especially in America, every single person, no matter old or young, have watched YouTube and watched somebody pick up a camera and film themselves. Every single body. So why in the hell are we still looking at people who are filming themselves, still looking at people who are classify themselves as YouTubers and influencers? Why are we still looking at people like they're taboo? But that just goes to show you, people are still stuck in La La Land. People have not progressed mentally. People have not came to the conclusion that certain things are long gone. Certain things are the old way of doing things, right? This is the mentality of today. Many people don't have a growth mindset. Many people are not patient, right? There's most people out here, especially the younger generation, they're impatient. But for the reasons that I've already explained instant gratification, right? Guys don't want to stack their money so they can afford the top upper echelon bitches. They don't want to stack their money. They don't want to put the work in, right? They rather log on to XNXXX, right? They rather log on to Cornhub and look up the chick that they want and beat their little meat to it. Pause, no diddy. That's what they rather do instead of putting in the work, right? Instead of actually setting your money aside into a high growth stock, right? Into something that's going to produce like the S&P 500, instead of putting your money into a vehicle that has historically given you back a return over 10 years, have historically given back people a great return over 10 years. People will rather gamble on sports betting. People would rather play the lottery, right? And if you have the mindset of patience, I've had to teach myself patience over the years, right? I'm still a little impatient, right? I'm still a little impatient, but I've had to grow into patience over these years. These past 10 years that that has been the hardest times of my life. But guess what? I've been fighting for 10 years. I've been growing for 10 years, and I'm still growing. But I've been fighting. I've been growing. I've been doing my due diligence over these past 10 years. So guess what? These next 10 years, God willing, they're going to be fruitful. And y'all are going to witness it. Because the revolution will be televised. The revolution will be televised. These next 10 years are going to be some of the most fruitful years I've ever seen in my life. And just like I told you, you can fail the previous 90% of times. You can fail that 90% of the time. Which you will. But it's that 10%, right? It's going to be that 10% that sets you up for forever. And that's an after pill. Like, comment, subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.